I am at war. With who? With myself. I'll admit, I got too cocky. I thought I'd won after the lucid nightmares. The moment something went catastrophically wrong, I knew it wasn't real and thus had no power anymore. But my subconscious got smart. It bided its time. No more horrific visions, instead replaced with the infuriatingly mundane. I sit at my computer. I enter my password. It's wrong. I try again. Wrong. I look down, making sure I get each character correct. Look up. Look down. The keyboard is now Devalk. I wake up in a cold sweat. I go to turn on the light. Wasn't it slightly further to the right? And on the other wall? I wake up again. My penis is missing. This gaslighting cannot continue. I will not let it win, and I'm fairly sure this third lobotomy will be the one to do it. And that's why I'm making a video on an inventory management based auto battler. Welcome back everyone. This probably isn't the video you were expecting from me, but it is basically the only thing I've been playing for the last 3 months. The history of auto battlers starts sometime before the present and consists of events and actions. I do not know what these are. I've never played them. Dota Auto Chess? League of Legends Teamfight Tactics? These are nothing but the free kiddie cracker dealer gives you, so they can then get you hooked on the full fat fend. I've escaped that hole once before, and I don't plan on going back anytime soon. MOBAs, I mean, not the heroin. The game is made in the Godot engine, making it maybe the 5th game of note ever to do so, and caught my attention as it was about inventory management. I love me some inventory management. I'm one of those people that always separated all my resources in Minecraft bases and spent about half of my playtime optimizing gear in RPGs like Pathfinder. Oh, what was that? No, I don't see any elephant in the room. Although in this case it works more on the style of something like the original Deus Ex or Resident Evil. You've got a grid of space available with both regular and irregularly shaped items to slot into said space. Once you've got your starting build, you hit go and then proceed to beat each other to death with whatever you brought along.
Butt sauce.
Between each round you get an increasing amount of money with which to buy more items from the three-tailed OC Do Not Steal cat unicorn. Kinda looks like a pet out of a cheap browser MMO, but the actual pet is the mimic that all your gold is being fed to.
Why are you like this?
The aim of the game is to not run out of health before your opponent. Nothing groundbreaking there, but you're not going to get very far just whacking them with a broomstick. It's all about item combination and synergy. Put a whetstone next to a sword and it will increase its damage by 1. At the end of the round, they'll combine into a better sword. Add 2 more stones and you get an even better sword. Alternatively, 2 sets of gloves to get a weaker sword with a better aura. Combine these 2 and you get 1 anti-gestalt mistake. That's something that's less than the sum of its component parts for those of you who aren't pretentious sesquipedalian twats. A lot of the combinations make some kind of sense. Spike plus shield makes spiky shield, fair enough. Rodent plus basil makes ratatouille. Broomstick plus frying pan makes a shovel. Sure, I guess. If you don't like what you've made, you can always sell it back to the Sparkle Dog for half its value. But you can hold down Alt over an item at any time to see its recipes, and the game also gives a helpful line showing if something will combine. Not that that stops me from forgetting that the slime will eat my sword and the birds like to swallow my balls. There is a slight delay between hitting go and the next match starting, which is the perfect amount of time to realise that you misoriented an important item and fail to stop the countdown in time. After your health, you also have a stamina gauge to watch out for. Most weapons, and a couple other items, take stamina to use. You regenerate 1 per second, and there are not that many good ways to increase this. You have bananas that give you a pitiful 0.2 extra per second. The Wolpertinger, that is expensive, usually only appears in the shop later on, and requires a solid buff base to be effective. And stamina sacks, that don't even increase your regeneration, but do increase your starting capacity. This all works to make you actually have to build craft and not just stack hammers. Not that going full Leviticus and trying to stone people to death is ineffective in the early game. If you lose a life. Lose all 5 and it's game over. Win and you get a trophy. Win, at least most of 18, and you get the dopamine reward of all of them being fed into Chestnut. While mimics can have some heavy metals as a treat, it is important to remember that their diet in the wild primarily consists of adventurers. Excess ingestion of currency and other heavy metals can lead to indigestion, gelatinous cube reflux, and worst of all, rapper grills. There are 6 characters, each with 2 subclasses. They all have a third option, but that's just a randomizer. The first is Ranger. probably my favourite design of the lot, and the one that gets put on all the marketing and store pages. Each class has a buff associated with them, although they all have some way of generating all of them to a degree. For Ranger, this is luck, which gives you plus 5% chance to hit with all weapons, stacking additively. Most weapons have 90 to 100% chance to hit anyway, making it not that useful outside of countering its opposite debuff, blind. But for things like the rapier or hammers, this can make quite a difference. Given that she's the only class that has easy access to lucky piggies, and her default bag raises crit chance of weapons inside per luck, she was basically the best class to stack daggers that hit on stun, and a hammer that stuns on hit, and instantly crit the opponent into the ground. A build so good it got nerfed on at least 3 separate occasions. It's still mostly viable, although arguably Berserker does it better now. Her second option just increases healing, an option that would be completely broken if given to Mage, but on Ranger it's just fine. Next up is Lena.
Burns, doesn't it?
Unsurprisingly, she is based around heat. Each heat makes your items trigger 2% faster. This stacks additively, and it is then applied multiplicatively. For those of you that failed maths, this means that at 50 stacks, your items will trigger 100% faster. But this does not mean instant, it means that they trigger in half the time. Still with me? Heat has an opposite debuff in, as you could probably guess, cold, each stack of which increases the time of items to trigger by 2% per stack. I suspect on the back end these both apply to one stack before multiplication of the net difference, as they appear to cancel out 1-to-1. Her bag options are the Fire Pit, which spends 1 money each time you enter the shop to make a flame, or the Offering Bowl that consumes all items inside it to generate 1 flame and random items equivalent to the total value, also 1 in power. This seems good at first glance, as it lets you recycle items you don't want at 100% of their value, rather than getting scammed by Versifer. But in practice, it's basically worthless, as why would you even buy items you don't want? It has some niche use in that you can buy items on sale, then recycle them for full value, but chances are that's just going to generate garbage you don't want, at which point all you've achieved is the equivalent of not buying the item in the first place, but with 1 turn wasted and a bunch of extra steps. Her best builds are just to stack items that generate heat until you start attacking at 400% speed. Do try and get some weapons that don't need stamina, as your usage rate is going to start outpacing any generation you could do, although bananas do scale nicely for this. Or you can go full Daenerys Targaryen and just stack dragons in every space available. The best of these is the Obsidian Dragon, that for every 5 heat you acquire, gains 2 damage and makes what's in front of it crit on the next attack. If you can get 2 of these to 69, then the Draconic Cyclotron will spew out enough white-hot burning dragon. Next up is Mage. Mage is broken. She mainly utilises mana, a resource that does nothing. Unlike the classes we've seen before, she does not start with a weapon, and does not need it. To prevent stalemates, the game has a mechanic called Fatigue. After around 18 seconds this sets in, dealing 1 damage per tick, increasing geometrically by 1 each tick. Again, if you've failed maths, just think of how the Fibonacci sequence works. If that's too much for you, here's some Subway Surfers footage to keep you engaged. Good, because technically it isn't even a geometric series. It's a piecewise function of arithmetic progressions. Looks something like this. Actually, the arithmetic progressions may still be geometric. I couldn't be asked to prove it. Why not post your proofs or disproofs in the comments below? The upshot of this is that if your healing outpaces the enemy's healing by a difference of more than their DPS plus the current fatigue rate, they'll just die to fatigue without you having to lift a finger. This allows you to eschew the need for any kind of stamina management, as fatigue will do all your damage for you. The key items to do this are Magic for Dummies, Blessing of Purity, Scripture of Light, and though I loathe the creature, the Badger. These either increase max health or health regen. Then you just need a supply of mana to keep these topped up. In the early game, Blueberries and a wand with your Scholar Bag will do this fine, but by mid-game you'll want to transition to better sources. Mana Orbs, Mana Mastery work fine, but once you reach round 8, each class gets to pick a subclass. This is usually one particularly powerful item with unique effects, unless you're Adventurer, in which case just always go Bard. Here though, grab the Water Elemental. This will not only help keep your mana up, but heal and apply cold on hit. With that, you can finish off however you like. Stacking Paradise Birds works well. You don't manage stamina, so pumping speed on everything is nothing but a benefit. A Falcon Blade also works well to augment this, and if you can get Sapphires on it, all the better, as it attacks twice per attack. That's 100% more damage and debuffs per damage and debuff. Holy Light, Pop, and if you have access to cross-class items,
cheese
can also work well.
I'm fucking invincible!
With this build, I can reliably achieve a 90% win rate and start racking up those trophies. Not that Mage really has anything to spend it on, as she only has a single cosmetic line, which is somewhat pitiful, especially when compared to Ranger or Reaper, who each have 6 to their name. That said, Rangers kinda all suck, so I guess it balances out. And if you count the chibi forms, the disparity is even higher. And while we're talking criticism, You see this achievement? You see how near 0% of the player base has it? It wants you to get 10,000 trophies. 10,000! When winning a round gets you 1. At time of writing, I have just over 6,000, and over 7,000 at the time of recording, and a smidge over 120 hours. That means a rough rate of 0.8 trophies per minute, or 200 hours to get 10,000. Wait, keep focus. However, that number is distorted, as each achievement you gain nets you 10 trophies. That 6,000 I mentioned, 1,870 of them are from achievements. That gives an actual average TPM of only 0.56, or nearly 300 hours just to get one last achievement. Am I really going to spend another couple hundred hours grinding just for bragging rights and completionism? Yes. What's that my friends keep saying? Undiagnosed, but what else could it be? With the above build, however, I've got this down to around 18 to 20 minutes and 20 to 26 trophies per run, so provided it doesn't get suddenly nerfed, it should only take around another 30-ish hours. This is also the reason I mostly play unranked. I've heard the higher tiers of ranked just devolve into needing to get the perfect RNG for your god build or you'll crash out at around round 9. Back to our characters, we have the Goth GF.
My potions are too strong for you, traveller.
Who, inversely to Ranger, has the best cosmetics. Mostly. Her main stat is poison, each stack of it dealing 1 damage every 2 seconds, inverted by regeneration that heals 1 every 2 seconds. As such, most of her items revolve around inflicting this. Her main bag inflicts 1 stack per item activation inside it. In this situation just meaning a single square. With the Pandemonium, god these puns, and some fast triggering food, you can crank this up quite quickly. But this does mean putting all your eggs somewhat in one basket. Enough buff reflection, cleansing, or just raw healing can negate much of your potential DPS, and you still might just get DPS checked into the dirt by Pyromancer aggro builds. Thus it's far better off to use this as ammo for demonic potions. Potions are single-use items that mostly do simple things. Restore some health, restore stamina, give the opponent a paltry amount of poison, etc. But more importantly, each potion activation reactivates the potion above it. We use this and stack nothing but demonic potions, each of which deal damage per debuff on an opponent. With enough of these, they all trigger at once in a manner similar to someone stumbling into an active claymore factory. She also has a second bag that buffs weapons. I've never seen anyone use it past round 5. Our penultimate warrior is the Berserker. She has the highest base damage weapon in the game, as well as one of the best damage ramping weapons. If you're trying to get the achievement for critting for over 300, this is the class you're probably going to do it on. She also has the best set of subclasses, with basically all of them being good, except Chieftain. It's hard to pass up the 0 stamina weapon that also stuns, but the runes from Shaman are really good too if you've got a weapon with lots of sockets, which, yes you do. If that's not to your taste, you can always fill the entire backpack with puppies like it's my DMs. Genuinely, I don't know why I seem to attract so many dogs. Berserker also gets arguably the best Goobert in the game. In Cheese Goobert. Gooberts are these slimes that heal when enough items activate next to them, as well as eat your swords you forgot to combo lock. They can also be upgraded in one of 4 neutral ways, plus 1 unique way for each class. This can sometimes be a detriment, as aforementioned, if you don't pay attention and it eats your hero sword that you were really trying to make into a falcon blade for the 3rd time. If you can make the main 3 neutrals as well as 1 class Goobert, these combine into a super Goobert. For Berserker, this is Rainbow Goobert Death Slushy Man Squisher, and if you manage to somehow lose with this out, honestly just uninstall, as it's completely busted, though judging from the Steam achievement stats, not many people ever have. It's honestly a crime she has no cosmetics that make her look like Guts. But I guess you can make her look like Luna's worst form. Finally, there is Adventurer, who has the worst bag in the entire game bar none, the Bag of Giving. Each time you enter the shop, all your money is spent on completely random bullshit with no control from yourself. Remember Pyromancer's bowl? Well, it's like that, but oh so much worse. With the bowl, you at least had the option to choose what went in it, or at the very least just combination lock the thing and treat it as an extra 4 slots that give you 1 in power. But here, all your money is going right into the slot machine and you're probably ending up with a bunch of anti-synergetic trash. Yeah, you can sell the items it gives you, for half price, Versifer, you cheap fuck, which you're probably going to have to do just to try and afford a decent build, or bags, as they are included in the random pool, but there is only around 20 bags and over 430 items, so you might never get any while it gives you a busted blade that you have neither the stamina nor space to use. Her other bag is decent though, makes crafted items use less stamina and twine more likely to duplicate in the shop, thus making the above easier. I've tried so many times to make Steel Goobert plus 4 Bananarangs viable, but it always seems to just peter out around round 10. I'd love to optimize it further, but sadly there's no endless mode, or sandbox for building whatever you like to test out. There is a website that lets you build craft, but it wants my Steam login before I can use it and is asking for donations in 8 different types of crypto, so I'm not sure how much I want to trust this vibe-coded trash with my information. Its main page also has blatantly AI-generated art. Like, come on. Come on, you're not even subtle. And you should probably have that wrist x-rayed. It also plays some real crusty audio if you click on it. Could you really not find samples anywhere for this? Hell, not even. Just rip them out of the game? You had to generate them too? Get the fuck out of here. In terms of other resources, there is an official wiki, but this is missing 2 of the characters. Or you have the fandom wiki, which only has 2 listed total. Great job, guys. Update. In the 3 months it's taken to edit this video, the official wiki now has all 6 characters. Good job. Fandom still only has 2 though. If you want to pick up the game, it's less than £13 on Steam, even when not on sale. The devs still are actively working on it, with the game going from 1.0 to 1.0.9 in the time it's taken to make this video. There's even a new character due early next year, so hopefully we'll see an integrated sandbox and endless mode at some point. And maybe some better cosmetics for Mage and Adventurer too. Merry Christmas, by the way, and thank you for watching. Hopefully more videos next year. Up next should be a certain much requested adult RPG involving monster girls.
I've been having this terrible dream that I could barely finish a simple 15-minute video in 12 months. But I just can't wake up from this one. People aren't going to subscribe for this. I guess at least I've nearly got the last achievement. And now that's done too.
Good thing all that wasn't real. Oh hey, my penis is back.